Welcome everyone to After the Bell with Jeff Meacham. Happy Monday to you all. And no, I didn't lose the bet. The LA Kings pulled it out last night in Vancouver, I might add, with a score of 2-1 in overtime. Jarrett Stoll saved the day. I want to thank Jarrett Stoll for helping me win the bet. I wore this to start the show because the bet was if I lost, I'd have to wear this in this. Well, originally it was going to be a T-shirt. Certain somebody up in Canada went out of her way and spent, I'm not going to give the dollar amount because that's none of y'all's business, but she actually bought this. It's custom. It's got my number on it, and it's got my name on the back. So I want to thank you for buying the jersey for me, but at the end of the day, I don't have to wear this anymore. So I'm not going to wear this anymore. If I come visit you, I'll wear it, just for you, even though you live in Toronto, which is the weirdest thing ever. But then again, we all realize, like you, like I, that Toronto Maple Leafs, well, they suck. So, anyway, Kings stuff today. It's a good day. Kings are in the second round. It's going to be a little tense around here the next couple days because we've got the Kings and we've got the Blues and JJ's family's from Missouri, and it's going to be chaotic up in here. But we'll see what happens. I was ecstatic. It's been a rough few days. I will come out right here and admit it. It's been a rough few days for me personally. But I'm home, and I am trying to work on the little things to make life better. And one of those things to make life better is to get in front of the camera and talk to y'all and answer y'all's questions. So let's plow on through this. Okay, these are strictly from YouTube. Every one of these is from YouTube. So if y'all are on YouTube, you get your question answered today. If not, I'll get to you next week or the week after, depending on when we get stuff straightened out around here. Alright, let's see. What do we got here? Alright, here we go. These YouTube names are the greatest thing. They just warm the cockles of my heart when I read these YouTube names. Nappy 1987, which means either he was born 87, he has nappy hair, or his hair's been nappy since 87. One or the other. And you know, 80s hair wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. If Bret Hart had never left the WWE, would he be considered the greatest of all time instead of Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker? No. Bret left in 97. He was probably going to be retired by the year 2000 anyway. And you got to remember, Shawn Michaels didn't come back and really etch his legacy until 2002. So Bret would have been gone by then anyway. He would have been in the office doing office stuff, like was playing on that 20-year contract, but you know, Shawn would have still etched his name in stone as one of the greatest of all time and reaffirmed his legacy after the back injury. And as far as The Undertaker, he made a believer out of me. I thought, you know, his best days were behind him. He and Triple H and Shawn Michaels all made a believer out of me at WrestleMania this year with that incredible Hell in a Cell contest. The Undertaker's, it's hard to argue greatest of all time. I'm starting to see my dad's logic, if you will. So, no, he wouldn't have touched it. It was pointed out to me in the comment board that with the beanie and the tap-out shirt and the beard, the Viking beard, which, by the way, playoff beard, gross, still intact, not going anywhere for at least 4 more games. I love it. That I look like Brock. And I ragged on Brock quite a bit the last couple weeks because of his return and picking on John. But you know, and I even got a condescending Wonka comment. I was so thrilled. Let me see what it said here. Hang on, let me find it. Because it was funny. JJ and I were laughing. Here we go. This is from Husker Hotel Foxtrot. Nice tap-out shirt. Sorry for the language. You must kick so much ass. Condescending, hashtag condescending Wonka. I got a condescending Wonka tweet. I feel all honored and stuff. So there's that. Let's see. Where was it? Oh, here we go. This is from Rick9123. Do you think a SummerSlam should annually hold the Money in the Bank match since WrestleMania no longer holds it? I mean, seriously, do you honestly think it deserves its own pay-per-view? One person winning it would mean so much more than 2 winners because the Rumble is self-explanatory and Survivor Series has traditional 5-on-5. Well, first of all, Survivor Series has nothing to do with this. Survivor Series is this whole other concept, and you rarely get a Survivor Series match that really means anything anymore. It hasn't really meant anything in a minute. That's why they're going to kill the concept in the first place. As far as Money in the Bank being at SummerSlam, I like it. We get to see it every year. You know, we get to see it live. I haven't seen a Money in the Bank match live ever. I know you did. Put your hand down. WrestleMania 21. I know. Arguably the best one ever. Except for Rob won. Because Rob won. It was awesome. And yes, that's biased. I don't care. It would be cool to see Money in the Bank at SummerSlam. The rumor we got was that Wade was supposed to win. If Wade Barrett's well by SummerSlam, put it in there. Make him the Money in the Bank winner. He deserves it. Darn it. Let's see. Let's see. Some of these are bad. I'm skipping over these. I'm sorry. Okay. God, these are horrible. I'm sorry, guys. All right, here we go. Wow. How do you say this name? B. Fraser 7. Well, it's not that they're questions. It's like they're just comments, and it's like I'm not going to read comments for 20 minutes because that's lame. You know, other people can do that. That's their prerogative. You know, other people can read comments about other people. That's fine. Have you heard about TNA's new concept, Open Fight Night? If so, what do you think about it, and who would you like to see get a tryout? Also, what do you think about the TV title getting defended every week? I'd like to hear JG's opinion on this as well. To be fair, I've not seen Impact in a couple weeks. I was off in Never Never Land for the last few days, so I've not seen Impact. Do you know anything about this Open Fight Night thing?
I do. It's on the episode that you guys are going to talk about on RSI, ironically enough.
I want to watch Impact soon, then.
And Jade took notes on for you guys. Open Fight Night, the concept as laid out by Hogan, as best as I can recall it,
Here we go.
Is that at once a week, anybody can come out there and issue a challenge to any champion. Now, he didn't specify if it was all going to be active roster open challenges, right, or if he was going to open it up to indie guys a la Ring of Honor, Gorilla, Dragon Gate, to possibly come on and get a shot, a random shot. Personally, I'd like to see the direction go more that way.
Yeah.
Because most of the guys that are on the shows have either had enough title shots or are already champions.
Yeah. Or have been champions enough in the past, like, really, again? Yeah.
Yeah. So I would rather see the door open up to, maybe some of the guys that are working Ring Kakin.
Yeah.
Bring in Bulldog Hart, Davey Boy, or Harry, excuse me. Bring in Chavo Guerrero, bring in Nunzio, bring in Joey Ryan, or Chris Masters, or some of those type of guys. Bring in, guys from the indie scene that are in ROH or Gorilla. Bring in, Eddie Edwards or Davey Richards for a title shot of somebody,
Yes, please.
Maybe have them go against Magnus and Joe.
Seriously, the American Wolves against Magnus and Joe. My God. Okay,
and as far as the TV title being defended every week, again, it was a point made by Hogan. And I actually agreed with something Hogan said. He was like, ever since I was a little Hulkster, brother, the TV title's been defended every single week, dude. Yeah, it's kind of the purpose of the television title.
Yeah.
So to have a TV champion that's not on television every week, what's the point of that?
Seriously. Who is Devon still the champion?
Yeah.
Well, I want to see Devon every week. I like the Dudleys, but I want to see Devon every week. Put it back on Robbie. Put it back on Rob T.
I definitely think they're going to end up getting the strap off of Devon, but
Yep.
The TV title needs to be on TV every week. Bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, even if the TV title's not defended every week in NWA, Scorpio's still featured.
Yes.
You see him either got in a promo, you see him talking about the next defense he's got at the fourth week of the month because he can, But he's there every single show. No question. He's even defended on a house show. Not on TV. No to Marquez. Okay.
So that's my thoughts on it, and I'm sure we'll get more of Jeff and Jade's input on RSI when Jeff, actually watch Impact and know what questions he's actually talking about.
Yeah, like I said, I was in La La Land from Wednesday to Saturday, so I apologize for not seeing Impact or SmackDown. I saw SmackDown later, but I haven't seen
And let's not get any trolling about the mysterious voice on this episode, because my opinion was asked for. So
That's
STFU.
Right. That's right. As far as me, yeah, the TV title, I've said this from the get of my, talking career on these shows. The TV title is meant to be defended on television every single week. You saw WCW's TV title defended every week, NWA back in the day. Every single week, the TV title was on the line. 15-minute time limit, and it was there every single week. Storylines revolved around it on Saturday night. It was the advent of the Monday Night Wars that killed the TV titles. Without question. You should bring it back. Alright, this is from Peter Daw. My first ever question to you, and I'm sure they will get better, but where do you see Christian going from now on? I'm a big fan of his mic and in-ring work. Hope he doesn't fade away. Thank you. Well, apparently he's still hurt because he came back and was part of the WrestleMania thing, and then before he even got to WrestleMania, he was injured again by Punk. So he's obviously not ready to go. I hope he is ready to go soon, because I have always liked Christian. Even this horrid one more match, whiny little complainer gimmick that he had last year going after Orton, it was still entertaining. Seriously, I'd like to see Christian have one more run with the World Championship. Because let's face it, he got the Cinderella story. His best friend retired. He got put in the match for the vacant title. He won the title in a brutal ladder match with Alberto. And lost it 2 nights later. Not 5. 2 nights later. That's bull. He got jobbed. He got shafted. Just because the people want their precious Viper to be champion. It's like, it's like being here in LA. And you have to have the Lakers win. It's like, it would seriously knock them on their butts if they lost. They lost without Kobe on... What day was that I was watching? I think it was Friday. Kobe made his big comeback from that horrible shin injury. And they got owned by San Antonio. I was amongst some of the craziest people I've ever been around in my life. We were all laughing together. It was awesome. Freaking Lakers. Anyway, Orton did not deserve the championship right then and there. He didn't need... Not that he didn't deserve it, because Orton's a great athlete. He's a great superstar, one of the best they have right now. He didn't need it. Christian needed it. And it got taken away from him. And it was bullshit. And I can cuss right now. The boys in the other room. Yeah, me. I can swear. Okay. Let's see. J1992 it. How long could you see the Cena and Lesnar feud going for? I can see it going for the next pay-per-view. Well, in my not-so-humble opinion, because I'm never humble, they hot-shotted it too fast. It shouldn't have happened already. It should have built until, at least, let's see, it's in April, maybe SummerSlam, yeah. SummerSlam is a great pay-per-view to have a huge fight, although if they're going to have what we're talking about, it's going to be Rock Cena, too, at SummerSlam, so they had to do something there. Let's see. I don't know. SummerSlam would be good if they weren't doing Rock again. If they even do Rock again. If they don't, then I'd say 1 more month. Because what more can they do? Brock F5'd him a couple times. He's kicked him in the nuts. He's punched his mouth out. Brock has the upper hand. If John does not win at Extreme Rules, then the feud will continue. Because hopefully, John will finally have that little twitch go off in his head. You don't think so? Alright.
We'll get into that on Dad's this week, the prediction show.
That's true, we have a prediction show. Which means Long Beach Clothing Company, are we going?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
We'll be in touch with Kenji.
We'll be in touch with Kenji, alright, hopefully. Alright. I did have time for Twitters. So we'll go to We'll go to the tweets. Alright. Let's see what we got. First of all, I want to acknowledge a tweet from Delirious Porker that the Senators Rangers series might interest me. Passionate hockey, absolutely. The Ottawa New York series has been sick. You know what? I'll even go one better. The entire Eastern Conference has been sick, NHL-wise, this playoffs. The West has been pretty much one-sided. They've either been getting their butts kicked or it's been like a 4-1 series. The East they're going to 7 or 6 every time.
Everything except for the Phoenix Chicago series is 4-1.
Yeah.
That one is 3-2.
Yeah, and it could be over in a matter of hours.
Yeah.
Come on, Chicago. Ugh. But the East has been more than 4 at every time, and I like that. The East is going to be a very formidable opponent if the Kings make it all the way. When the Kings make it all the way, 12 to go. Anyway, on to wrestling, because y'all care about hockey. You don't like when I ramble, even though it's my show, so get over it. Ian Dunn, who will be the next ring announcer in the WWE Hall of Fame? Ring announcer, I'm assuming you mean the guy that stands in the ring. The following contest scheduled for one fall. Okay. Finkel deserves it. Finkel was the first ever employee of the WWE. Vince McMahon took over. You're hired, Fink. And Fink came up with the name WrestleMania. That's props forever. I don't know if a ring announcer that's really, stood out for Hall of Fame credentials. Lillian is awesome. She's a sweetheart. She has a singing voice that'll melt a heart. But
except for Jade's.
Well, I said a heart and a stone. I'm kidding. It's been a bad day. I'm kidding. Lillian, I don't think Tony Chimmel. Anyway. I know. I got it. Ken Kennedy. You heard it here first. Alright, let's see. I'm going to ask for JJ's help because I have no idea what this guy is talking about. This is from @RickyLawson. I want to know your thoughts on this feud between Mick Foley and Dean Ambrose, a.k.a. Jon Moxley. Any idea what this is about?
I don't know complete details, but I've been reading that they've been having a Twitter war of the words, a la Punk and Austin last year.
Okay. I think Twitter wars are stupid. I really do. Hang her down. Twitter war, I get that people are using social media to further angles. Lord knows I'm guilty of that. But, if it's an angle, then it's dumb. If it's really legit, then, call a fool on the phone. Meet in person. Handle your beef. Don't blow up our Twitter timelines with stuff like this.
Well, I know Foley has gone on record saying that he's got a couple more good matches in him. Mm-hmm. And if you look at since he came back from retirement really on a semi-consistent basis in 2004, his task has been putting over the younger talent.
Yeah.
Randy.
Edge. Yeah.
So if that's what this is all going to be, and he's going to end up developing an on-camera feud once Ambrose really debuts and putting him over in the ring.
Ambrose is a superstar.
Think so, yeah.
John, I never heard of him, and that's bad research on my part. I didn't know who he was.
I think he's an FCW guy.
Oh, okay. Sorry for my lack of knowledge, y'all. My bad. All right. This is from @The Moaning Show. Do you think that wrestling websites that offer spoilers should be banned? Lesnar's return wasn't a surprise and could have been. And things that happen no longer are a shock to us. Austin's heel turn WrestleMania 17 wouldn't have been so big. I don't know. I mean, as far as Austin goes, I was watching WrestleMania 17. I was on my floor in shock. He was hugging Vince McMahon, toasting a beer with McMahon. I was on the floor. As far as Brock goes, everybody knew. It was a matter of when. He had signed, it got out, we were expecting him at Mania, he showed up on Raw. Do I care that one was blown for me? Not really. Do I care that Brock is back? Yes, I do. But do I care that he's going to be back full-time if he is back full-time? Not really. He's very much in the same vein, and I'm going to get Captain Massive shit, as The Rock. I take that back. The Rock had the world handed to him on a platter, took it, and made something out of it. Brock had the same thing handed to him on a platter, danced around for 2 years, then decided that he was too good, and he wanted to play football. And I will grant that he sucked at football, realized he sucked at football, and went on to the UFC against all odds, against all criticism, and he kicked ass. He kicked so much ass that I actually started watching UFC on a semi-regular basis because Brock was there. I didn't give a shit about UFC before, but I wanted to see how Brock was doing. Because I did like Brock when he was in the WWE. I liked him better as a heel with Paul. I didn't like, you know, the heel of Vince McMahon. I didn't like the baby face that was, you know, after Kurt Angle. I didn't really like that Brock because, you know, Brock needs to be a killer. I do like this Brock Lesnar that's there right now. He's a killing machine, and if they keep him a killing machine, that's fine. But if they have stuff like they had, whatever it was, 2 weeks ago, where he snuck up from behind and kicked Cena in the balls, it's like, that's not Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar will come right to your face and bust your mouth open like he did to Cena. If they keep that Brock around, you know, I'll like it. But as far as the spoiling of surprises, and the guys should be banned, there'd be no internet websites left. There'd be no wrestling websites left. And we'd all be out of the job. Well, we wouldn't. We have YouTube, so we're good. In that case, ban them all! We win! Woo! Alright. I've been given the wrap-up. I'm down to less than 3 minutes on my allotted time, because, well, it's just, yeah. Coming up this week, we've got Renegade. Renegade tomorrow with results from the return of Mach 1 Wrestling. A doubleheader, man. JJ's going to be busy tomorrow. We've got Dads with the prediction show. Hopefully it'll be Long Beach Clothing. Thursday, of course, Wednesday is RSI, excuse me. RSI will be doing our topical show, which are always fun. Thursday is Dads from Long Beach Clothing Company if we get there. Friday will be Stat Boy Rants. And from there, pay-per-view on Sunday, and we'll see what happens there. We'll probably do a pay-per-view show. If we watch it, great. If not, we'll probably do it anyway, because we bored. We got nothing to do. Thanks for watching, guys. Go Kings, go. We'll see you next week.